Today we are going to have an update of all of the flights and the airlines right now flying to Venezuela. This video will be just on the Caracas airport, of course, the main international airport in Venezuela. The next video will be for international airports outside of Caracas. Let's start with the uppercomers, that is Bogota. The flights to Bogota actually was some political situation in between Venezuelan government and the Colombian government, although the Colombian government has changed. So we have new flights to Bogota. So you're in Bogota, you can come straight right here to Venezuela, to Caracas. Actually, we have a couple of flights. The flights are going to be increasing on the next few months, and I'm going to keep you guys updated. Right now, we have just two airlines, two Venezuelan airlines. One is Laser Airlines, Venezuelan private airline, pretty good, pretty well, and Turpial Airlines. Some Colombian airlines will be added to this list on the next few months. The most popular international flight that we have in Venezuela is to Panama City, and right now we have four airlines serving that route: Copa Airlines, Great Panamanian Airline, Laser Airline, the Venezuelan private one, WOW Airline is serving that flight as well, and Estelar, this is a Venezuelan private airline. Also, we have to mention two international flights to the Dominican Republic, to Santo Domingo, capital, and Punta Cana. Okay, to Santo Domingo, we have a bunch of airlines serving that route. We have Avior Airlines, a very important Venezuelan private airline, Laser, also talk about Laser, Rutaca, and WOW Airlines. Now, to Punta Cana, to Caracas, we have Rutaca, but there's also a couple of airlines serving that route seasonally and adjust according to demand. Now let's go to Mexico. There is two flights to airports serving a direct route to Caracas, and the Mexico flights are a hit and miss, so do your own research before coming. And right now we have two international direct flights, one to Mexico City. It's served by the state-owned airline Conviasa. Try to avoid flying to Conviasa, but if you must, just have some precautions during the schedule of the flights and the hotels and connections, and you know what I mean. And also we have a direct flight to Cancun, also by Conviasa. There was another airline called Venezolana de Aviación that this airline was serving this particular route. I don't know, because there is some news that maybe they're not serving that route anymore. So I'm gonna keep you guys updated with that. One of the most popular international destinations to flying to Venezuela, to Caracas, is Madrid. Madrid, actually, there's four airlines serving right now that route. Is Plus Ultra. This is a Spaniard airline with a shady business, but they serve the route just fine. The flagship airline, Spaniard airline Iberia, also the very important Spaniard airline Air Europa, pretty good airline, right over there. And yet again, Conviasa, please, on this route, avoid flying to Conviasa. Another destinations in Latin America are first Ecuador. There's a direct flight to Guayaquil, so if you are in Guayaquil, you can take a direct flight using the state of airline, Conviasa. If you wanna take a shot, you're in Ecuador, be my guest. There was a flight also to Quito, the capital of Ecuador, and that flight is a hit or miss situation right now. It's a very uncertain situation, so you wanna take it. Another flight that it was in serving, that it was in operations, but right now I think it's in cease, is Lima, Peru, also by Conviasa. There is also a direct flight to Santa Cruz, Bolivia. So if you are in Bolivia, Well, you can also use the state-owned company Conviasa. Now, another destinations in Latin America. By next year, we should have a flight to Buenos Aires, and of course, like I said, most flights to Bogota, and maybe another flight to Mexico. Now, you must know that Brazil has changed its government, and right now they are reinitiating diplomatic relationships with Venezuela. So it's most likely that by next year, just a few months away, we're going to have direct flights to Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, and some Brazilian destinations. Now let's review some other European flights. First, we have a direct flight to Lisbon, Portugal by the TAP airline, the main Portugal airline. Pretty good airline, if you ask me. Also, we have a direct flight to Istanbul, Turkey, served by Turkish Airlines. Great airline, great flight, and if you are in Eastern Europe or Asia, that's probably the most comfortable way to travel to Venezuela. Also, we have a flight to Tenerife, Caracas, served by Plus Ultra, this Spanish airline. And we have a direct flight to Moscow, served by Conviasa, the state-owned company. And what I would say is maybe if you are in Moscow or very close to, in Russia, you can take that flight and be my guest to take it. Just plan accordingly. And also we have a direct flight to Tehran, Iran. And the flight is also served by the state-owned company Conviasa. And if you're on the Middle East, maybe it's a flight that you might take. Also, apparently, there's some speculation that we'll be having flights to Qatar. I haven't seen fully guaranteed, fully confirmed on the airline sites, although it was confirmed by the Venezuelan government. And lastly, I just want to recall that maybe for the next year, it's very likely that we will have flights to expand the direct flights to Mexico, also to Brazil, like I said previously, and to the United States. Right now, the US and Venezuela are reinitiating some diplomatic relationships, so maybe we'll be having flights at least to Miami. We have a bunch of direct flights to Miami just a few years ago. Those may be continued, and also flights to Buenos Aires. So there you go. This is right now an update of the direct Venezuelan flights coming to Venezuela. Also, if you are in some specific location and you don't have access to direct flights to Venezuela, you can just come straight to Panama or straight to Bogota and take a direct flight. There's a bunch of direct flights from both of those.